like you.
Maybe not me.
I think he would have. And then he would have thought, what am I doing?
He probably would have dapped me up.
He might adapt.
Good job.
But he's just hugging everybody. He's like out of his mind. He's like a little kid.
Yes.
This is why he's still playing football. That's why. And what did he scream to Belichick? Would we have it any other way? Well, guess what? You can also say that's a little touche to Belichick because Tom Brady had just canceled the blunder of the Miami Miracle, right? He had just gone to Kansas City and shut up the crowd in overtime. He had just driven them, 75 yards in 13 plays. Remember, this had just happened. He had just completed 3 straight 3rd and 10s. That's impossible to score a touchdown to keep the ball completely away from Patrick Mahomes in overtime. So he kept it away from him 44 minutes to 21 minutes for the whole game. But in overtime, and this is not fair, Patrick Mahomes doesn't even get to touch the football.
Nope.
Well, the only way you're going to beat Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City is if you keep Bill Belichick's defense mostly on the sidelines. Did he not do that?
Yep.
Can you do any better than 44 minutes to 21? I don't think you can do any better than that because that took 13 of 19 third down conversions.
Right.
9 of them via the pass. So I don't think Tom Brady can play much better, except for the Reggie Ragland blunder where he just got fooled. Right. But other than that, I don't know if you can play a much better quarterback game. So in a way, you could even argue he's kind of sticking it back to the quarterback because guess what? And again, the Seth Wickersham report ended with that Bill Belichick, according to friends, was furious and demoralized over being forced to trade Jimmy G. Do you think Bill Belichick was furious and demoralized on Sunday night?
No.
Because Tom won, right? Tom won.
Right.
He won with Mr. Kraft.
Right.
And then he won on the field last year. At least they got to the Super Bowl. And they're back in the Super Bowl again, and they did it the hard way. They went through Kansas City, which most people thought they couldn't do. So wasn't he sort of hugging from a position of strength?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And that's the thing, though, Skip, is in these moments, it's hard to say when someone's at their happiest. I mean, what's he supposed to say?
Yeah.
I mean, how was he supposed to act? And look, both of these gentlemen are smart enough to know that at a moment like this, how many cameras you think were on that field for that game? 21, 25?
I don't know.
Because they'll probably have 35, 40 at the Super Bowl.
With lots of audio, too.
Audio is on everything because I need to get everything. So, hey, love you. Love you, too. Come on, bro.
Love you.
We know. There was a lot of truth to that. Because, Skip, if there's no truth, okay, Coach Belichick says he don't want to respond to gossip.
Yep.
But why would he sign his name to a statement that Mr. Kraft put out with his name, Tom Brady's, and Mr. Kraft's name on it? Just count me out. I don't even want to be a part of that. Of course. There's some truth to that. Seth Wickersham, I don't really know him, Skip. You know him a lot better than I do. That man ain't just making up that.
No.
All of a sudden, so he just want to write an article.
He's highly respected. His employer is highly respected.
Yes.
This was not some second-rate, second-class, dismissible reporting. Nope. Sorry.
Yes.
They nailed it. And it's operating, but both of them are smart enough to realize still works.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, it's a good partnership. So what is Tom Brady going to say on Monday morning? Is he going to say, well, we've never gotten along? Well, what's the point?
Exactly.
What are we going to do?
Exactly.
What are you going to gain?
Right.
Right?
Maybe I do an interview after the Super Bowl, do another Jim Gray. If Coach Belichick does something like he did last year, maybe bench one of our starters, maybe I'll have something else to say.
You know what? That is true. And I'm going to say it again. He better not bench Stephon Gilmore for the whole Super Bowl or something's really up, right? I told you it felt sabotagey to me last year, and I still wonder about that move. But I don't wonder about this because it was interesting on Brady's radio show. He was talking about how something like what happened last night, which was Sunday night, he's saying it's a game we'll all remember for the rest of our lives. Emotions just take over at that point. You're not thinking much. You're just feeling it. Well, it was interesting to me because that also describes what was going on in the fourth quarter and overtime of that game. Tom Brady obviously prepares hard. Every quarterback prepares hard, but he's right up there with the Peytons and the best of them.
The really great ones.
Yeah, how much you put into it, how much is in the back of your mind when you go into the game, and then you just blank it out. You just let it go in your subconscious, and then you just have to read and react the whole game. So he's saying, at the end of the game, you're not even thinking, like after a while, I don't think he knows where he is because he's just doing what he's taught himself to do, right? It's just happening before him. But the quarterbacks who overthink it are the guys who wind up on the couch pretty quickly, right?
Yes.
Because the position, it's the hardest position to play in sports, and you can't think too much. You just have to prepare for it. And then as it happens, you read, you react to it, and then if you misfire, you go to the next play.
You have to have a short memory. You have to have tremendous recall.
You do.
Because when you go into a game, Skip, look, you have 100 plays, 120 plays, and there's a defense for every formation and all this. And so you need to be able to recall that when someone's coming to try to take your helmet off. And what Tom Brady and the really great ones can do, they can recall information that says that when we're in this set, and this down and distance, in this area of the field, this is the defense that they normally run. But if they don't do this, they'll normally do that. And it's got to be instantaneous. It's just got to be like this. You just recall it. And the really good ones can recall it. I bet you Tom Brady, you can go ask Tom Brady right now. And down and distance, when you threw this ball to Gronk, what defense were they in? What were you expecting?
Oh, he would know
it. And he can call it back. Just like Sean McVay can tell you every play, the really good ones can do that.
Except the difference is Sean McVay wants to demonstrate that to the media that he can do it, and Tom Brady is not interested in displaying that for the world.
He just has to be. He just displays it during the game. Because they're not fooling him. He knows. And the thing is, Bob Sutton is lucky that he still has the job. I don't know how much longer. That's the defensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. Because I'm sure Andy Reid is thinking like, why wouldn't you double Edelman?
I know.
Why wouldn't you double Gronk? But Skip, look, Tom Brady and what he's been able to accomplish, because you have to understand how this relationship started out. Coach Belichick always had his name because he was one of the foremost defensive coordinators in the NFL when he took this job.
I agree.
So he was already Bill Belichick.
He was.
Now all of a sudden you get this skinny kid who ran the worst 40 in NFL history.
He did.
And he comes in and he throws one touchdown in a playoff run and you win the Super Bowl. He's the MVP. But you're still Bill Belichick. And the next thing you know, he wins another.
Well, Bill got all the credit for the St. Louis Rams Super Bowl because it was defensive genius.
Right. And how was he getting to the Super Bowl? He was beating one of the best quarterbacks of all time in coming, Peyton Manning, and he was confusing him. So it was still Bill. Now all of a sudden something happens. Not only did he win in his first 10 years, he win 3 Super Bowls, but now he's an MVP. 50 touchdowns.
I thought it switched against the Legion of Boom. That's where the credit started to lean toward the quarterback.
He was thought of probably about that time, Skip, but he had started gaining that momentum. And Coach Belichick, because they weren't winning, all of a sudden, like, well, what happened? A lot of people had the same question you have. Has he lost his fastball? I mean, what's going on? Why haven't they been able to get back when they've had such success? And so now, for the most part, however you look at it, don't even play in field. Now, Skip, at the end of the day, we're together and we've been together for 18 years and we've gone to 9 Super Bowls. But let's just say for the sake of argument, Skip, I could possibly get the one without the other. How am I going to look now? How you like me now? You said I needed him. I didn't. You said I needed him. I didn't. So now that dynamic completely changed. It was just like Coach Walsh and Joe Montana. Skip, it was 50. I don't know, Coach Walsh, that innovative offense and what he's doing. But look at Joe, blah, blah, blah. Coach Walsh steps aside. Joe hangs 55-10 on the Broncos. And now all of a sudden.
And pretty soon, what was Coach, and I love Coach Walsh. God rest his soul. Absolutely. Knew him well. But then what did Coach Walsh start saying after he was gone? He started saying Jerry Rice is the greatest football player. Football player.
Yes.
Football player ever. Not the greatest receiver, the greatest. Wait a second. Joe was throwing.
I thought the coaches always said the quarterback is the most important player, plays the most important position. I don't care if it's Jerry Rice and he has 22,000 yards and all those 1,500 catches and 208 total touchdowns. Guess what, Skip? He still played a dependent position.
Listen, Tom Brady knew full well because he has his own offensive genius in his head. He knew at the end of that game what had just transpired. He knew that Patrick Mahomes barely had the ball in the fourth quarter. It was a grand total of 3 minutes, and he scored 24 points, and Brady beat him in overtime by playing keep away. He just went all the way down the field, 75 yards in 9 plays, whatever it was, 13 plays. 13 plays, and that's the ball game.
Yes.
And so he knew when he walked up to Belichick, we did it the hard way, didn't we, Coach? Love you.
Yeah.
Love you too.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
No, you did it. We ain't no we. You did it.
And when Belichick was asked on his radio show about saying love you to Tom Brady, you know what his quote was? I said that to a lot of guys last night. Aha! Aha!
Oh, so Jim Vitale thought he was special.
Aha!
I got a lot of boos, Tom. You ain't the only boo I got. I said it to Hightower. I said it to Gilmore. I said it to Sonny Michelle, James White, the entire offensive line.
I said it to Slater. I said it to everybody.
Right? All around.
Coach Belichick, Skip, just when you thought it was safe to come outside, Coach Belichick got that hammer waiting to hit you.
That's it.
Well, you know, didn't get any love on Sunday. It was the refs. Yeah, it's been a tough couple days. Does the NFL need to change their pass interference?